Hello again, dear bloomers. Welcome to today's show. So we're looking at a profile in how you manifest the life that you want. And today's profile and manifestation will be Usher Raymond's.
Believe in the idea of manifestation.
And oftentimes we look at successful people and we think to ourselves, oh, they just burst into the scene. Where were they? They just became so successful. No, 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 no. You see, there are so many in-betweens. There's so many spaces and spaces and years in between when the dream was first birthed to when the execution of the plot starts to kick in and when the harvest starts to pour in. A lot of us are not privy to those moments of sweat and tears and long hours and rejections and doubts and self-motivation and trying again after so many falls. So we're going to look at Usher, look at how he became so successful, look at how he was able to get the Super Bowl, because a lot of people don't understand how it worked. How did he get the Super Bowl? How was he able to be a headliner? That's not an easy feat to be a headliner at the Super Bowl, and how he ended up becoming the best performer for 2023. So, ready? Let's kick in. And today's guide into looking at Usher, I'm reading biography. Okay, so his full name is Usher Terry Raymond IV. He was born in October 14 of 1978 in Dallas, Texas, and he had two spouses, Tamika Foster, who he was married to for 2 years, and Grace Miguel, who he was married to for about 3 years. And he has about 4 children. Now, though he was born in Texas, he was not raised in Texas. He moved to Tennessee, somewhere called Chattanooga, with his family after he was born, and that was where he began. Of course, like so many artists, he started singing in the church choir, and from when he was 6 years old, and his mom recognized that this son of mine is not going to be an ordinary child, and so when they had moved to Atlanta. His mother had to move him from Las Vegas, from Tennessee to Atlanta, where most of the big record labels were, and he entered into a competition called Star Search, and he was recognized and identified and picked out, and he was signed to Babyface's LaFace Records in 1994. 1994, he came out with his very first album at the age of about 16-ish. He came up with his very first album, which which was entitled Usher. He had the stagecraft. He was cute. He had the moves. He had the voice. He had the presence. When you have a 15, 16-year-old. Remember how it was when we saw people like, what's his name now? I'm going to put his name up here, singing love ballads. Or this little kid singing about love you and you're the only one. Those things are very cute to people. So he came on, like him in his early days, and he was swoon the ladies, and you're like, singing when you're 15, 16, singing to ladies in their 20s and 30s, talking about how you're going to love them and all that. Kind of makes a woman feel very, very sexy. So he came on that scene, and he had the voice and he had the presence, and he sang very, very amazing songs. After his 1994 album Usher, he came out in 1997 with his second album, which was titled My Way, and he had a few successful #1 hits on that album. Songs like Nice and Slow, like the very first one, You Make Me Wanna Leave the One I'm With, Start a New Relationship with You, This Is What You Do. Songs like that. It brought him on, and I think till date that album has sold about 7 million record albums till date. And then in 2001 he came out with the 8701, and this one was very, very good because he won 2 Grammy Awards with that album. He had songs like You Remind Me and songs like You Don't Have to Call, and he had about 4 million copies of that album that he sold. And after a decade after he had his first album, which was in 2004, remember he started in 1994. So by 2004, when he had the absolutely amazing record that followed after his relationship with Chidi of TLC, and I think at that time there were rumors that he had a child outside of that relationship with Chili, and he had an album called Confessions, and that was very well received. In fact, in the very first week after it was released, he sold more than 1 million copies. Yes, that's how big that album was. And he garnered so many number one songs like Burn. I think it's time to let it burn. And of course, another major number one hit that he had was one where he collabed with Ludacris, where he sang, yeah, yeah, yeah. So he had a very successful semi number ones with that as well. And then he had songs like My Boo, the one he sang with Alicia Keys, was also released in 2004, and that landed him another number one hit. After so many successful albums, he kind of took his career kind of like took a little bit of a rest, dipped a little bit. He was away from media until about 2022 rather, July of 2022, where he signed a Las Vegas residency. Now that residency that he signed on in Las Vegas was supposed to last for about a year, and then there was a little bit of an extension till December of 2023. That would be one of the best decisions Usher had ever made in his life. However, I'm going to go back and do a time capsule. In 1990, in 19 this was, he did the residency about 20 years ago. About 20 years ago, Usher had an interview with a guy with a Coolness, where he Coolness 941, and it was where Coolness had asked him about, look, don't tell me you're gonna be in Las Vegas, like, and no, because it was like Las Vegas was often for people who had run through their entire career and they were at the tail end of the career. And when he was asked about that, this was Usher's response. In 2004, this was in 2004.
Promise me one thing: you will never become a Las Vegas resident in 20 years' time.
I can't promise you that. I can't. You know what? Because I am such a theatrical artist, I would love to be in a space. If I did decide to go to Las Vegas, it would be the most phenomenal thing you've ever seen in your life. It wouldn't be like, oh God, he's washed up and now this is his opportunity just to, collect as many checks as he wants to. No, it would be a phenomenal show.
That's why it's important that you never say never. And when an opportunity like this presents itself, you need to be very careful what you speak into the atmosphere, because your words matter. Your words carry life. Your words carry the ability to go into the future and into time and space and create opportunities to help you to attain the things that you have said. Usher didn't say, I would never take on a residency. What he said was, I cannot tell you that I would not go to Las Vegas, but what I can tell you is I would not go when my career is all washed up. I don't want to go to Las Vegas as an old man who has nothing more to offer and just wants to have another extra paycheck. He said, no, I am very theatrical. And if I go to Las Vegas, I am going to go with all of my energy and I'm going to give it my best. That's what he said. Now, when Usher had the opportunity then in July of 2022 to go to Las Vegas and do his show, he went on there with all of the vigor, theatrics, the moves, the sleekness, the charmingness that he knew that he had, that he possessed, and he gave it his best. Now, fast forward in times past, Usher had in the past had opportunities. How did Usher in the first place even get his first stint? He had gotten his first stint at performing at the Super Bowl when he came on with will.i.am. Usher came on with his appearance. He had an appearance with Black Eyed Peas frontman will.i.am in 2011, and for him, he said it was like a cheat sheet because he knew what all of the preparations, what it took to prepare for the Super Bowl. That particular Super Bowl was held in Arlington, Texas. That prepared him and gave him a first taste of the Super Bowl. And after that, he had always wanted, he said to himself, I will be a headliner at the Super Bowl. So what you need oftentimes in life is for people to open doors for you to enter into spaces and give you an experience that is meant to trigger you to want something bigger and better for yourself. So when those doors are opened for you, when you enter into those rooms and into those spaces, you must take advantage of it, and you must desire it, you must work for it. And one of the things he said, that was what caught me, the interview he had with Gil Kings, of all of the things that he said, that was what caught me. He said, I manifested the Super Bowl, and this is how I did it.
So ready.
I believe in the idea of manifestation and affirmations. Right? The moment that I heard, I'll tell you this now because I have it. The moment I heard that they were entertaining the Super Bowl coming to Vegas, I was like, I'm not leaving. I'm staying. I'm giving him no choice.
Really?
I'm giving Jay no choice. Like, you know what? I'm going to stay here until you see I am the only option
Did
for
you?
Las Vegas. Yes.
Really?
There's nobody else who could play. Hello?
So
I'm here.
Did you extend your residency?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yes.
So even if his residency ended in December of 2023, when he heard that the Super Bowl was going to be happening in Las Vegas in 2024, he said to himself, you know what? I'm going to stay here. I'm going to give Jay-Z, who was in charge of lining up the artists to perform, I'm going to give Jay-Z no opportunity to think of any other person but who? Usher Raymond, who has just finished one of the best Las Vegas residency performances ever in history. And so he stayed on and he held on to his faith. And you know what? Jay-Z called him and said, hey man, where you at? Are you still in yeah, I'm here. I've rounded up, but I'm not left. I'm still here. So would you like? And that conversation was had. So sometimes when there is a chance to move and God stays stay, there is a reason. And sometimes when you want to stay and God stays move, there is a reason.
It's like, you know what? If I just stay here, it's going to happen.
You really truly believe that?
I believed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at God and look at you.
Won't he do it?
Yeah, won't he every time?
Yeah.
You have to be careful the voices that you are listening to and how you are obeying instructions, because it is said that your instruction and your blessing is always waiting for you at the end of an obedience. So when you obey an instruction, the next instruction will follow. Or when you obey an instruction, a blessing will follow that obedience. So he obeyed that voice that told him, don't pack up, don't leave Las Vegas, stay on for a little bit and see what happens in terms of who they pick to headline the Super Bowl of 2024. He went on that stage and he did his amazing. He already had the team in place. He already had a successful Las Vegas residency. So there was nothing to build from scratch. He already had the foundation on which to build upon. And when it was time for him to take that stage, he blew everyone's mind. So no wonder he won the best performer for 2023 at the just concluded NAACP Awards, because everything that you do adds up to get you the life that you want. So I guess as we end today's discussion, what I want to leave you with is this: that make sure that you are daily making decisions and you are taking actions, little micro actions that will lead you to the life of your dreams. How long it takes doesn't matter. From the time that you have that idea to when it starts to manifest itself, it could be 6 weeks, it could be 6 days, it could be 6 weeks, it could be 6 months, it could be 6 years, heck, it could be 20 years. But just keep tilling the ground and keep believing. Your harvest is coming very soon. Have a great day and a great